and welcome back, my fellow fiends, to Let's Play Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne. Last time we began our ascent on the Tower of Kagutsuchi and defeated the god Ahriman, thus breaking the reason of Shijima. This time around we're going to be continuing our ascent. I'm just doubling back real quick here to get the mystical chest that we missed earlier. This contains a bead of life, which is going to be handy. I can imagine a couple of situations where I may want this level of healing at this point, as a lot of the final battles can actually be pretty difficult and do go on for quite a while. With that taken care of, I do just want to quickly warp back to a healing fountain. Luckily we hit Large Terminal 2 the last time, so we don't have to travel too much to get healed up, and I will meet you back at the large, I wanted to call it a Karma Terminal, Terminal 2. Also, apologies if you hear any background noise. It's been a little too toasty and humid for me to feel like not having my air conditioning on. Also, there is some ongoing landscaping work, so you know, fun. Alright, see you at Large Terminal 2. Alright, here we are at the second leg of the Tower of Kagutsuchi. Now this one is much shorter than the first leg of the Tower of Kagutsuchi. To start off, we've got this area with these floor panels that will appear as you get close to them. As you can see, they disappear as you walk over them, and also different panels will show up depending on where you walk. Now this is one where, if you know where to go, this is a very short section, so let me see if I can remember exactly where to go. It's not overly complicated. Let's see. We definitely want to go right there, and then we will head out this way. And again, the panels will appear, well, how do I want to explain this? It really depends on which area you approach them from. You need to go in a specific route to get the panels you want to appear. So let me see here. Next, we want to get over to that middle section. Hey, new enemy over there, your Lunger. Your Lunger is actually really annoying. He nullifies basically all types of magic. We want to actually kill your Lunger. This guy is just... Man, I want him to stay around so I can kill him for the experience. As you can see, he's got Wind Cutter at his disposal. Very powerful wind magic, but otherwise not too bad. Very important that you have some good physical attacks to deal with this guy. Let's show off Stinger. Stinger is, of course, an almighty physical move. With his new Sun's Oath ability, it does pretty impressive damage. So Dante is pretty solid at this point. Stinger has a very high chance of instantly killing enemies if they are not immune to instant death. I am not sure what the game checks against to determine if the enemy resists the instant death from Stinger. Let me see. So I think that way just leads us straight on. We really want to get onto that middle section. I know we definitely want to be onto here. So let's see. Does that go straight? Okay, good. So now that we've walked off of that, I think we want to take this route right here. What we want to do is get into that little, this section, this alcove right here, because this will take us to a staircase that puts us right at the elevator blocks that were blocking our way previously. And before you ask, there was no treasure in any of the areas that I just could have gone through. Now, off to the left here, there are a couple of pits that will take you down into a unique floor you can only reach by dropping down from this area. And there are some mystic chests there, but I already checked the treasure list, and it's just a Soma and a Chakra Pot. And at this point, that's just really not worth my time to go out of my way for. Really, the only things I really care about at this point are incenses, since I'll always be up for a stat boost, great chakras, and beads of life, because we are in the fights at this point in the game that actually warrant having that level of healing. Also, we are on the outer wall of the Tower of Kagutsuchi now. It's a pretty impressive area. I have been playing the Switch version recently, and man, like, the game, like so many other games, the HD version of this game has been remade in Unity, and that engine is notoriously fickle with the Nintendo Switch, and boy does it hate areas like this. The frame rate just plummets. As you can see, we've got these ride blocks that take us even further out onto the outer wall. This one leads to nothing, but I believe the next one we come across will lead to a mystical chest, just as the Kagutsuchi is waning, of course. I always seem to hit this at just the wrong times, but oh well, that's how it is. Man, now that I've committed to strength, Deadly Fury is really putting out some impressive damage. Even without crits, it's dealing around 300 damage to every enemy, and when it crits, oh boy, that can just one-shot a lot of things. Pretty good stuff, pretty good stuff. Alright, so riding these blocks out. Do not ask how these things are floating, it's magic. We've got a mystical chest here, you know the drill. Man, you would not believe how many encounters I got into trying to get the Kagutsuchi to full here, but we get a Soma for our efforts. Not bad, not bad. Kinda wish they were multi-targeting like in Persona 3 and 4, but, you know, can't have everything. Anyway, now that that's taken care of, we can actually advance further, and we're actually getting close to the end of the second section of the Tower of Kagutsuchi. Like I said, it is very short. And, as a matter of fact, just beyond that door is the boss for this area. Who awaits us beyond it? Well, we're actually not going to see right away, because we can actually just blow right past it and go on to the third section of the Tower of Kagutsuchi. Yeah, you do not have to fight the boss here to move forward. I mentioned this previously, but just to reiterate, we can move on, and it is a good idea to do so, for reasons that we will get into momentarily, actually. Now, you will obviously need to go back and fight the boss, because it is another god of reason, so we absolutely need to fight them in order to move forward. So, man, I had a terrible luck. Got Yurlinger and Dekarabia. That is a terrible combo, because the Dekarabias have access to Tetrakarn. They can repel all physical attacks. Yurlingers nullify all magic. Dekarabias themselves resist magic, so it's just super duper annoying to deal with them when they're teamed up like that. And hey, more mannequins! They've gotten far here. Wonder how they got past Ahriman. Maybe he just didn't consider them worth his time and just let them go. But because the mannequins are here, they have set up a little town inside the Tower of Kagutsuchi. And yeah, it's like a mini Asakusa. Unfortunately, this is not a safe zone. There are enemies who will attempt to harass us while we're using the stores, but that's okay. We can deal with that, no problem. Now, the main thing to bring attention to here, there of course are these standard areas like the Healing Fountain, of course the large terminal, and the Cathedral of Shadows, but here we have a store, and it has the final Magatama, Kailash. And Kailash is kind of, I won't say the ultimate Magatama, but he does teach one of the ultimate skills of the game. One that we're not going to be learning in this file, but I will be buying the Magatama regardless for a side quest we need to do. But it teaches the almighty, and this is literal, it is an almighty skill, Fry Kugel. And Fry Kugel is famously like one of the most broken skills in the history of Megaten. It is an almighty physical attack, and it can be paired with the Pierce passive skill to make a skill that literally bypasses everything and nothing resists. And since it's a physical attack in a game where physical attacks are very powerful late game, you can do Tarukaja, Rakunda, buff stacking, and then do focus, and it can do utterly insane damage. I have hit 5-figure damage using that combo before, so that's definitely something we're going to be seeing later on, because it will actually be necessary for something we end up doing. Also, since there's a couple of enemies to remark on here, first off, we've got Asiel, who's finally been demoted from bosshood. He's resistant to all magic, but doesn't resist physical attacks, and he doesn't have any kind of counter, so that's not a big deal. He's actually something of an upgraded version of another enemy that we can run into, which hopefully we'll run into him in this video. That enemy is actually slightly more dangerous, because he's the same deal. He resists all magic, but has no resistance to physical attacks, but he actually has Retaliate, so that's something to worry about. We can run into Rangdas now, and obviously you want to be very mindful of them since they repel physical hits. Don't want them to just appear when you're auto-battling, and you definitely don't want to use something like Deadly Fury on them. Fortunately, it's not something that we're overly concerned with. They did throw up Tetrakarn, which is kind of redundant, really. Well, I think Asiel threw up Tetrakarn, but you know what I mean. Yeah, aside from having to watch out for physical attacks, there's not too much else to say about Rangdas. Of course, Wukong, he is pure physical, so it's these kind of encounters where he just kind of has to pass and let us take care of all the heavy lifting. And let's just hit him with a Stinger to take him out. Stinger, also an almighty physical attack, so it does not have to worry about Tetrakarn. And of course we get into another encounter. This is much easier to deal with, though. We can just use Bolt Storm. Let's throw out a Whirlwind here. And I guess we'll just Prominence these guys. Good stuff. Alright, so got another level up here. Going to increase our strength, though it's not going to be coming in handy right away for reasons that'll become apparent soon. Here we get Showtime, Dante's ultimate skill. It is a multi-targeting physical attack, much like Bullet Time, but it is Almighty Elemental also. It costs 40 MP to use, so it's not as cheap as Bullet Time, but I find it to be a lot more useful because we're dealing with a lot of stuff that can repel or otherwise drain physical attacks at this point, so having an almighty multi-targeting skill that's also slightly stronger, I feel like that's more worthwhile. So goodbye, Bullet Time. You had your chance. It was decent while it lasted. Alright, now that we've had a chance to save up, and got to heal and all that jazz, now we will double back and actually go take on the boss. So let me just cut ahead to in front of the door. Just cutting back in here to show off Showtime while we're at it. Very cool skill. Dante can actually use that on you in his second boss fight. I don't think he actually did, though. He's inconsistent about that. I'm usually pretty good about getting prepared to just totally cave his face in by the time he's able to use that move, so it's never really something that I have to overly concern myself with. And here we are in front of the door. Alright, so heading in. What do you got to say? Sure am. Ah, so it's Isamu who awaits us beyond this door. Alright, so let's get up to the door. I want to think about the team I want to use here. So first, no, let's not have Uriel do that. Let's see. I want to take a look at Black Frost here. How much EXP does he have? Okay, he's not even close to a level up. So actually, yeah, I will be using him. Let's see. Dante... Actually, we will be keeping Dante in. We will be benching Wukong, and I'm going to be doing something that's a little risky, but I think we can manage it. I'm going to just be bringing in Black Frost so that he can give us Debilitates and Makakaja. It's very, very important that we're able to maximize our magic damage here. Dante will actually be useful for having Whirlwind at his disposal for reasons that we will get into. Uriel is also going to be there for debilitating, healing, and actually using Prominence. And hopefully this doesn't end in disaster, but we'll see what happens. Alright, a strong power awaits us beyond the door. Let's enter. Of course, there isn't much suspense here because we were already informed of who was awaiting us. It is, of course, Isamu, by proxy of his god, Noah. Alright. It is pretty tragic. He was a good friend of ours, and then we just fell out hardcore. As you can see, there he is in the red core of the transparent Noah. Not sure whose design I like more, Noah or Aberdeen. I mentioned this, but I think Ball just has a really goofy design, so I don't really like her that much. Alright, Isamu. Time to face off with one of our friends. No, you. Yeah, showed him. But we are facing off against Isamu, and he is, of course, in the shell of Noah. Now, Noah is immune to physical attacks. He repels them, so you can't even hit them with Pierce, and he is also resistant to almighty attacks, so Stinger won't deal full damage to him. Now, of course, I mentioned previously the Pierce and Fry-Kukel combo, but you can only access that if you've completed the Labyrinth of Amala, which we're not doing. So instead, we have to run a magic build. Fortunately, I have a good balance of magic attacks at my disposal, so we're going to start passing. First, we want to max out Debilitates to get his damage down, as well as weaken his own defense. Once we have the Debilitates maxed out, and just to show it off, just check out how much damage Stinger... Oh! Okay, so at this point, he doesn't resist almighty attacks. Never mind, I thought he did. He has normal attacks that, same deal as Ahriman's. They bypass the accuracy check. I guess it's in the second phase that he begins to resist almighty. Might be a little risky to hit him. Now, like I said, he does not have Deja or Dekunda at first. However, towards the end of the second phase, he will get access to those moves, so we do want to be careful. It's actually very convenient that we got a crit there. Alright, so we're going to hit him with another Stinger, and let's do a Medea Rahan to get ourselves healed up. And at this point, I'm going to go on the offensive. Black Frost is going to be giving us Makakaja support. Here we go, Aurora. So this is where he starts shifting his resistance. Let me see. I forget if it's the magic that he uses that he's vulnerable to, or if it's the magic opposite of what he uses that he's vulnerable to. But Noah has a resistance shifting gimmick. You have to hit him with a particular element once he's shifted his resistance. We have coverage for, well, actually we have coverage for all 4 of them, but we only really have good coverage for 3 of them. So let's pass a little bit. Let's get Makakaja going. Alright, I'm gonna do something a little risky. Let's see what Magma Axis does. Okay, that repels. Oh no, that's bad. Okay, that's very unfortunate. Okay, so it's the opposite of what he hits you with. Well, good to know. That was embarrassing. Alright, let's try this again. Alright, here we are at the Aurora Phase again, and this is just evidence that the person who, or the thing that is the greatest danger to me in this game is myself. Alright, so he repels everything but the element opposite of what he uses after the Aurora ship. This is the point where, as you can see, his almighty resistance kicks in, and you just deal absolutely paltry damage to him, so that's just something we're going to have to deal with. I could have Black Frost use Mabufudyne to try and damage him, but the damage would just be so low, it's not worth it at all. Alright, next turn, we're going to be able to start nailing him with Magma Axis and Prominence, and that'll deal some pretty good damage for us. Now, not every turn we're going to be able to deal good damage to him. Come on, dodge. Okay, yes. I was so unlucky there. I bounced the Magma Axis back to myself. He decided to target the Demi-Fiend, and even with the maxed out evasion debuff, I could not actually dodge. Very, very frustrating. So at this point, we kind of just have to let the people who can't actually accomplish anything pass. Yeah, I'll throw up another Makakaja. Playing a little risky here, but at this stage, he does not have any more turns to use multiple actions after doing Aurora. But that's about to change. Alright. And here's where Noah's design gets a little goofy looking. As you can see, Isamu has popped out, and his hat is a part of his DNA. He can't have Isamu without the hat. And also, he's going to use his physical attack. The physical attack is almighty. Oh, geez. Because he uses the attack, I don't know what element he's shifted to. We're going to have to heal first, and definitely don't have the Demi-Fiend attack. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep passing. He does cycle through the elements in a set order, so he's either using elect skills or force skills right now. So we're just going to whirlwind and see what happens. Okay, so that answers that question. Now now he should be vulnerable to force skills. Luckily, he didn't target Dante there. Okay, so Dante, try that again. Oh, never mind. Huh, what? It's so hard to tell what he... Did it revert? Yeah, I don't know what his resistance is now. I'm not sure if it just looped back around to the start, so we're just gonna have to pass until he uses something and I know what the cycle is on. This is annoying. Okay, let's just use a Chakra Drop on Uriel there. I suppose I could whirlwind now to see where we are in the cycle. Okay, now we're on force. So let me see. It would be nice if he used magic so I actually knew what his resistance was, and I can't risk doing an attack with the Demi-Fiend. So, we don't have to worry about the skill being bounced back in Uriel's face, because he would nullify it anyway. Okay. Come on, Isamu, play ball so I can know where you are in the resistance. Okay, now he's vulnerable to ice. Alright, so at this point, I can pass it back to Black Frost and just have him do Mabufudyne. We'll do a Medea Rahan here. This isn't going to do great damage because he does not have Ice Boost, but that's not a huge deal. And anything else I want to do? Not really. Just kind of have to pass and let this go. I guess I can do a Stinger just to get that little bit of damage in. Also, because I game overed, we've de-leveled, and Dante does not have Showtime anymore. Not that I'd really see any use here, but you know. Oh, you actually can dodge that attack. I thought it had perfect accuracy. Alright, now we're back on the cycle, and I know exactly where he is, so let's keep this up. Prominence should do some excellent damage here. That's okay. It's always so much better if it actually rolls the 2 hits, but can't always count on that happening. Fortunately, as you can see, and I thought he got more actions once he entered the second phase, but clearly I misremembered that. I guess I just wanted him to be more threatening than he actually is. Of course, we're dealing some pretty great damage to him at this point, so we are getting to the point where he might Dekunda off the debuffs. Okay, now he's on the Force phase, so let's, yeah, he must have, when he switched phases, he must have just looped back around to fire to start with, and I just couldn't tell that because he didn't actually do any magic attacks. Let's do a Meteor Rahan here. We'll have Black Frost Past, and we'll actually use a Great Chakra here. So let me see, get one of those. Yeah, we've got plenty. If we don't use them here, we're never going to use them at all. Alright, now this fight should be in hands. Yeah, he's already on death's door here. Now, this is going to be one of the situations where not having access to round trip is going to sting. Dante can't do anything on this cycle anymore, but that's okay. It would be really nice if I actually rolled the second hit there. Alright, we'll do another pass. And this is the point, once he's slumping like that, this is the point where he can start getting rid of buffs and debuffs, so hopefully he doesn't do that. But if it does happen, it's not a huge deal. He's so close to dead anyway. And now he's looped back around to fire. Yeah, there comes the Dekunda. That is okay, though. We can easily deal with that. If Dante rolls a crit here, that would be really nice, but that's not critical. That's probably the best thing. Oh! That little piddly 46 damage did him in. Wow! He was, like, just at the cusp of death. Also, big mouth. Wow. I was not expecting that to kill him at all. I was just trying to roll a critical hit there to extend my turn. Well, okay, that works for me, too. Beautiful stuff, beautiful stuff. There's one for the highlight reel. And, of course, we get a bunch of useless treasure. When am I gonna get an incense from my demons, I swear? Goodbye, bullet time. We are not keeping you. Well, Isamu, you were a good friend. That said, I can't say this exactly leaves a good taste in my mouth. We didn't exactly split on amicable terms, but he was our friend. And we killed him. Steep price to fight for what you believe in. Seems like Isamu is not overly broken up about it, though. Or at least he's not showing it outwardly. But Noah is defeated and Musubi has crumbled. For our efforts, we get the Netherstone. And there is nothing else in this room, actually. It does not extend any further. The way forward, of course, is just back the way we came. What do you got to say, my dude, about your, I guess, shall we say, leader falling? Well, I at least admire his conviction. He is sticking to his principles on that. He's not going to flip-flop. I imagine the followers of Shijima are taking it much less gracefully that Hikawa had fallen. I will say, it is kind of interesting, though, that Hikawa did elect to put himself directly in our path and actually fight us right out of the starting gate. Seemed like he was waiting for us at the start. Now, after you defeat Isamu... I'm not really sure why this guy appears after you defeat Isamu. It's sort of like implying that he got attacked by followers of Musubi, so you'd think logically he'd appear before you defeated their god and actually disbanded the reason. Yeah, I don't really get it. Kind of stinks that I used that Great Chakra just as the fight was ending, though, but like I said, I'd never use it otherwise, so it's not really much skin off my nose. I still have plenty left for the rest of the game. I like how Rongda is going to learn Hellfire next, even though I've already taught her Prominence, and it's completely useless. Now, because I've done a lot of editing, this video is probably not at the half-hour mark quite yet, so we'll go a little bit further. Not too much further, because we've got another boss fight coming up. This one's just a mini-boss, though, and it is not a Reason's God. Let's, as always, heal up before we go any further. We actually do want to get Wukong back in the party here. Let me see. Yeah, we'll get... Oof. Yeah, I can keep Black Frost a little bit. I absolutely do not want him to level up too early. Let me see. Actually, no, I'll get rid of him. I can bring Kali instead. Yeah, I just want to make sure I have 2 Debilitate users at all times, so... Man, that was an ugly encounter. Turns out the Certs have Warcry, and they just love to stack that up to you to completely neuter your offense. Not a huge deal, though. I managed. Alright. Close to level 80. Also, we just need 1 more point of strength, and I'll be able to go and collect the Magatama in the Ikebukuro Mantra headquarters. So we're getting there. We almost have all the Magatama. I am going to have to take a detour into Hell's Vault to get some money to actually afford that, but that's okay. I could use some more money to do some fusing at this point. I want to get a handful of skills onto Black Frost, and I may have to do some grinding to actually get the skills that I want. Particularly what I would like on him is Focus, Hades Blast, and Prayer. Guy with a mighty hammer. Well, I can only think of one person who that could be. Now, in order to meet said individual, you sense a strong power at the end of the hall. Let's just head forward a bit. And remember this guy? Yeah, it's been a while since we've seen him. Not since the fall of Gozu Tenno. Actually, did we see him when Chiaki came back? I forget. No, I don't think we did. Yeah, okay, he even clarifies right here. So he is, in fact, in line with Yosuga, which makes sense. He was very loyal to Gozu Tenno. But we face off against Thor, and he has stepped up his game considerably. He has very, very powerful physical attacks as well as electric attacks, and the electric attacks is why I don't want to bring Rangda in on this fight. We definitely want to get started with the debilitates here. Also want Wukong to buff our defense up. I forget if he has Deikaja or Dekunda, or even both, but he definitely has one or the other, and possibly both. So that's something that we have to deal with. I think for this fight, it's not a terribly difficult one. I'm going to stick to doing Magma Axes just to get some quick damage in. Not worry about setting up too much, but yeah, that Bolt Storm would be really nasty if Rangda had to take the hit, so let's see. We'll do another Debilitate here. Get one more Rakukaja up so that we can stay on top of his damage should he get rid of the Debilitates. And at this point, we can go on the offensive ourselves, so let's do that. And hit him with the Magma Axis, and this fight shouldn't be too hard going forward. Yeah, that's pretty decent damage. Alright, yeah, you do that, buddy. Alright, now we can just go full on the offense, I believe. Or, well, I feel, anyway. Be really nice, I'm gonna have Wukong do some brutal slashes. It'd be really nice if he got a crit. I'll also have Kali utilize Deathbound, so if she gets a crit, that's also going to be handy for us. Sadly, no. Now, once we've dealt about 4,000 HP of damage, now he gets access to Dragon Eye, and he's gonna start laying down some buffs of his own. But luckily, his evasion or his accuracy rather, is in the toilet, so we can just dodge his attacks, no problem. Hit him with another Magma Axis. We're just gonna have Aerial Pass. We don't really need the healing this turn. And hopefully Deathbound crits. I actually would like to finish with healing if possible. It does not look like it, but let's just hit him with another Magma Axis, and we should be fine. I have Endure at my disposal, and yeah, we just kill him. He can be pretty dangerous, because without buffs and debuffs in place, he hits absurdly hard. And another level up for Wukong. Well, actually, I think he's just getting back the level that he got before I game overed on Noah. Sorry, Thor. I admire his confidence in Yosuga, but it's not gonna happen, man. Now, once you defeat Thor, you are able to fuse him, and he is the ultimate demon of the Kishin race. Just pointing that out. for reasons, but yeah. I think that is enough for this video. Now, unlike the second section of the Tower of Kagutsuchi, the third section is actually pretty sizable. It goes on for quite a while, so we will definitely end the video here and tackle that in the next one. I'll definitely want to pull out a map for it, because it is actually a ridiculously convoluted teleporter maze that is very annoying to get through, and afterwards there's not exactly a difficult maze, but there is a very frustrating one, and I'd rather just know offhand which routes I need to take in order to get done with it, so there isn't that much bumbling, but that will be for the next video. As always, I hope you enjoyed watching, and I hope to see you next time. Until then, goodbye.